Most people hate selling because they're doing it wrong. What if I told you that there's a way to sell that makes people love buying from you? Think about it. The best sales experiences aren't about pressure, manipulation, or convincing someone to say yes. They're about creating an environment where the right people see your offer, recognize its value, and feel excited to take action. But here's the catch: this only happens when you're working with the right clients. When you get this right, it's like selling to people who already have their wallets out. They're excited, they trust you, and they can't wait to say yes. Sales start to feel natural, even fun, because you're offering exactly what they're looking for. You'll close deals faster, you'll build deeper trust, and you'll finally enjoy the process because you're working with clients who truly value what you offer. But when you get it wrong, it's a total grind. You're stuck convincing people who aren't ready, who don't see the value, that dodge and ghost emails, and you fight every objection that shouldn't even be there. Honestly, it's exhausting and it's probably making you hate selling altogether. So, how do you get this right? How do you sell in a way that makes people love buying? Let me show you how we use what we call decision momentum to create a buying experience that everyone loves. Now, hey, and welcome back to the Business Real Talk. Now, in the last episode, we talked all about what it actually takes to create a record breaking year, and we didn't hold back. We shared with you why so many businesses fail at this because they get started in Q1 to create a record breaking year when really it starts with what actions we take in December and how we leverage what we call the 3P method in order to create that. Now, today, we're going to take it one step further. We're going to talk about how to actually build the process, how to create a buying experience that gets people to not only buy, but to love buying from you. Now, let's get real. Selling so people love buying isn't about just getting to a yes. It's about making the entire experience so aligned, so irresistible that saying yes to you feels like the most natural thing in the world. It's like going to the farmer's market and you're ready to buy fresh fruits and veggies, and you walk up to the stall with fresh sun-ripened peaches, and the seller doesn't start listing prices. It doesn't start pitching how amazing the peaches are. Instead, they cut one open, they hand you a slice, and the moment that juice hits your tongue, you're sold. You're not buying because they convinced you. You're buying because you experienced the value, because you wanted that outcome. So when it comes to creating a process that gets people to buy in a way that they love, it needs to feel like their idea. They're not being pushed or persuaded. They're stepping into a decision that feels exciting, obvious, and right for them. And here's why this matters. When you sell so that people love buying, they feel in control. I want you to think of a great restaurant where the chef comes out, they customize the dish just for you. You feel seen, you feel valued, you feel excited to enjoy that experience. Selling works the same way. When clients feel like you understand their desires, they want to move forward. They feel in control of taking that next step. And when you do that, they see you as a partner and not a salesperson, which means they feel good about saying yes. Because think about the last time you bought something you truly wanted, whether it was a vacation, a new car, or even an online course, you didn't need convincing. You felt excited to buy because it actually aligned with what you wanted for yourself. That's the energy that you're aiming for in your sales process, where clients enjoy the buying process because it feels like a natural next step. There's not any pressure or forced in the decision. And sales become faster, easier, and more enjoyable for both parties because you're meeting their needs at a higher level. So, what do you think about Apple when they launch a product? People don't just buy their products, they line up for hours. They're thrilled to make a purchase. They want to hand over their hard earned cash because that experience itself becomes a part of the value. Why? Because Apple positions their products as the perfect solution for already existing high intent desires. So, what you need to understand is when we create a process that allows people to love buying from you, you build stronger relationships and loyalty. You reduce the resistance and friction in the sales process, and you set the stage for repeat business and referrals. So you might be saying, okay, Nas, that sounds great. We understand that we want people to love buying, but how the heck do we get to that point? How do we make sure we're attracting the right clients who actually appreciate your offer, but are also excited to buy. Now, here's the truth. It all starts with understanding the right clients, the sophisticated, high value clients who already want what you're offering. Because when you attract these types of clients, selling becomes so much easier. You're not convincing or chasing. Instead, you're aligning with their needs. And that's where the magic happens. The real beauty of working with the right clients is that it eliminates nearly half of the issues that most businesses struggle with when it comes to sales. So let me explain. What's that age old saying, right? That people love buying, but they hate being sold to? And here's my very unpopular opinion. The only people who hate being sold to are the people who had zero intent of buying in the first place. Makes sense, right? Now, in a recent call inside of one of my group programs, a client asked, won't people be annoyed if I email about my sale again? Let's be honest, we've all felt that at a certain point. But here's what I said to her. Would you be annoyed if you wanted new makeup, you wanted a new jacket, you wanted a new car, whatever thing it is that you want, insert the blank, you wanted this thing? Would you be annoyed if that store emailed you 3 times to make sure that you didn't miss a major sale on that item? Absolutely not. You'd be eagerly checking your emails, squealing that there's a sale, grateful that they emailed you to remind you so that you didn't miss it. Intent matters. When we have people who have the intent to make a buying decision, it changes and shifts the way that we market, the way that we communicate, the way that they view us. So what we need to understand is the problem with wrong fit clients are they hesitate. They question, they need convincing because they're not actually aligned with solving their problem, nonetheless, your solution. And guess what? As a result, they're going to focus on price instead of value. And you end up wasting your time trying to persuade them instead of focusing on delivering results and talking to people who genuinely want a solution. Now, on the flip side, the power of sophisticated, high intent clients is they already want what you're offering. They're already actively looking for solutions. They're motivated by their vision, not just their pain points. You get to step into your leadership because you're no longer speaking from a place of how can I force this person to buy? And instead you're thinking, this person needs me. How can I help them understand how I solve their problem in a way that makes it instantly understood? And as a result, they prioritize time over cost. They're going to invest in efficient, high impact solutions. They're not just looking for the cheapest option. And they're more decisive because they're clear on their goals. They appreciate and act on clarity. So selling to a sophisticated, high intent client is like being a guide for an experienced hiker. They already know the destination. They trust you to take them there on the best route. So when you sell to a wrong fit client, it's like trying to convince someone who's never hiked to climb a mountain. Of course, they're going to be hesitant. Of course, they're going to be unsure. And of course, they're going to be more likely to quit. This is why it's so important for you to not only understand what creates a high level of intent inside of your market, but also how you speak to that. Now, a Harvard Business Review study found that 75% of high intent buyers make faster decisions when they're feeling aligned with a solution that matches their goal. 75%. Can you imagine that? Imagine that you have a pocket of your market who is waiting for the right solution so that they can say yes. And 75% of them say yes to you. What would that change for your business? I want you to think about that. Now that you understand that, can you see why it becomes so important for you to be able to understand your high intent clients and be able to communicate with their high value needs? So now that you understand that actually speaking to high value clients, understanding those right clients makes sales easier, the question might be, well, why does it still sometimes feel like even when you have the perfect people in front of you, that they still don't pull the trigger? Now, here's the biggest truth that so many businesses overlook. Even the right clients need the right process to make a decision. Let me explain. It's not just about getting them there. It's about creating a system, a process that works with them to keep that momentum so they can make a decision. So what I want to explain to you is what it means to create what we call decision momentum and why this is the answer to actually moving your right fit clients, those high intent buyers, to saying yes. Now, what is decision momentum? It's this process of keeping your client in motion towards a decision without any unnecessary stops or hesitation. So think about it this way. Let's say that right now you have the perfect messaging and your messaging is speaking to high intent clients and their very specific needs, and you're doing everything right in that sense. But for whatever reason, they enter your world, they come into your funnel, they join your masterclass, they come into your Facebook group, and they don't make a buying decision. What the heck happened? Well, the problem is you created a process that actually slowed down their decision momentum because these people are already in motion. They're already looking for ways to solve their problem. So when you create a process that hinders that, when you stop them in their tracks, then they no longer can move towards that decision. So when we have the wrong pieces of the puzzle, and I'll go into what that means, then it actually creates a barrier rather than creating momentum towards that decision. So when decision making flows smoothly, clients are going to feel confident. They're going to feel empowered and excited to buy. Now, think about it this way. Newton's law states that things in motion stay in motion. Same thing happens with decisions. Decisions in motion stay in motion. So I want you to think about it this way. When someone decides to opt in, they've already made a decision. It's a decision in motion. Now, all we have to do is meet that initial yes and continue to meet those needs as we go. So momentum is what's going to remove friction, which is often caused by a lack of clarity, overwhelm, or too much information. So when we enter a world where we're excited and we've made that initial decision that, yes, this sounds like what I need, but we come into a world where then we're presented with too much information. Maybe it's a 90-minute webinar and we have zero time in order to do that. Or the information is drawn out over too long of a period of time. Say you have an automated funnel where one email comes the next day and the next day. Now we're creating friction. So we're literally building a barrier in the process. Momentum, though, reduces decision fatigue because we're simplifying the process. We're guiding clients towards that next logical step. So what I want you to understand is high value, high intent clients love being sold to because it actually aligns with their need for efficiency and clarity. So if your messaging is working, it's doing what it's meant to do, it's drawing people in and creating that first initial yes in the process, but then they get stalled once they get there, then your system is the problem. You've created a system that quite literally stalls their momentum. Think about it. When you're at a checkout line at the store, okay, you're ready to buy. You've got everything out on the countertop. The cashier is scanning your items. You're paying. You're out of there as quickly as possible, right? Like I can get in and out of the grocery store in 15 minutes when everything's working according to plan. That's momentum. But imagine instead when you get there and the cashier is spending 10 minutes trying to convince you to buy the long warranty. Their register is malfunctioning. There's somebody who's there and forgot an item. Suddenly, that decision to buy isn't that easy. You've created a delay. You've created resistance. You've stalled that momentum. This is exactly what's happening in your sales process, where clients are feeling like they're being stalled or confused in the buying process. So they start to lose momentum. And you'll find that as things drag on, they go silent, they ghost you, they end up thinking about it for weeks. And in that space, the excitement has faded, the urgency has dropped, the decision to buy has become harder. Now, studies show that decision-making speed can be a key factor in conversion rates. According to a study by Harvard Business Review, the sales cycles are shortened by 30% when clients can make decisions quickly and without friction. So the faster you help clients move through the decision-making process, the higher your close rates. So here's why momentum matters. When you create decision momentum, you eliminate resistance. So instead of dragging clients along, you're letting them ride this wave of excitement and confidence towards a yes. When clients are in motion, decisions become easier because they're no longer stalled by indecision, by second guessing, by lack of clarity or over information. Just like when you go on Netflix and you start a TV show, you love the fact that instead of having to wait for the next episode a week away, you can literally just keep binging. Watch the next one after the next one after the next one. No overthinking, no getting distracted. You're literally just binging your way through the process. There's no stalling or second guessing. But right now, your sales process is likely creating barriers, is likely stalling their ability to move forward. So decision momentum is the key to getting your clients to the yes faster and more confidently. It's about giving them a clear, smooth path from interest to decision. When they feel like that decision just naturally comes to play, they're a lot more excited to buy from you. It doesn't create hesitation. So the question becomes, how do you create decision momentum inside of your business? This is what I call the bingeable decision system. So it's the secret sauce to moving high intent buyers through a sales process that actually accelerates their decision making rather than stalling it. And it's a system that's designed to keep your clients' momentum high, making each step feel natural and effortless until finally saying yes feels like the only logical option. So let's take a look at the formula behind the bingeable decision system. Number one is resonance. Now, let's be honest, the first step to building decision momentum is to actually resonate, right? Your buyer has to be able to feel like you're speaking to their DNA. High intent buyers aren't looking for this generic solution. They're looking for something that speaks directly to their desires, needs, and action. So when you resonate with them and you tap into what they're motivated by, you're not just selling them a product. You're not just selling them a service. You're showing them that you understand exactly what they're coming from and how your solution aligns with that specific vision. So think about how some brands just seem to get you, right? When you watch their ad and you think, wow, that's exactly what I needed. It's because they've created a message that aligns with your very specific high intent personal desires. That's resonance. So when you resonate with buyers, you instantly gain their trust and they're ready to take the next step. Now, listen, it's not enough just to speak to their desires. We can all do that, right? You need to actually be able to stand out, to create a pathway that nobody else can, because buyers are inundated with options. And I'm tired of people pretending like competition isn't fierce right now. The reality is, if your audience, if your buyer has to stop and think about how your solution is different from other solutions, you are breaking momentum. They will hesitate. They will stall. They will stop and look for other solutions. And it's where sales falls apart. The key to being able to maintain momentum is ensuring that your innovation is front and center. Because innovation isn't just about adding new features. It's about showing buyers why your solution solves their problem in a way that nobody else can. Your innovation has to be able to create a space where there's no ambiguity. They're not wondering how your approach is different. They know it and they're excited for it. Take Apple, for example. Every time they release a new product, it's not just about the specs. It's about how their product works seamlessly with the lifestyle they sold you on. When you experience their innovation, you immediately understand why it's worth the investment. That's how your sales process should work. And it's why the bingeable decision system is the only one of its kind that actually sells on methodology and not offers. Because when you sell an offer, you become a commodity because it's a list of features and benefits that everyone has, versus when you sell your methodology, you become the innovative solution. Now, the third and final piece of the puzzle is what I call micro compounding decisions. Now, here's the reality. This is absolutely one of the biggest game changers in your business. It's no secret that confused buyers aren't going to buy. And right now, buyers are freaking overwhelmed. Yet traditional sales processes are often just adding to that overwhelm. They're giving them more information. They're giving them more time in between. They're leaving them feeling drained and unsure about the next step. It's why we're seeing an increase in the sales cycles. It's why people are saying maybe next time. It's because they know that they don't have confidence that they truly understand how to make a decision. So micro compounding decisions is about breaking down this decision-making process into smaller bite-sized steps. So instead of overwhelming your buyer with everything at once, you guide them through these small, manageable decisions that add up over time. So with each episode, each piece of content, it helps them make one small decision that compounds to their commitment of buying. Now, the best part about it is this doesn't have to be done over a long period of time. It doesn't need to take 30, 60, 90 days in order to achieve that. You can do this and shortcut the period of time. It's just about giving them the right information in the right way so they can make a decision right now. That's why when we think about the bingeable decision system, our clients are doing this within a matter of hours or days, if not within a week, depending on the system that we use. So we have two different bingeable decision systems, both the front end system, which we call our bingeable sales system, which focuses on creating an episodic mini series that drives conversions from that side. And then we also have our bingeable content system, which on the back end picks up where your bingeable series left off. So I want you to think about watching a TV series that you love. Each episode is this small cliffhanger, right? It gets you excited to watch the next one. And the decision to watch that next episode doesn't feel like a big deal. You're not even questioning it, you're just doing it. It's a tiny decision that feels effortless because you're already invested. The same thing happens in your sales process. When you break down those pieces into micro decisions, your buyers go through one small choice after another. And by the end, they're fully invested and ready to commit. See, when you use the bingeable decision system, you're building momentum at every step in the buyer's journey. You're resonating with them, you're innovating in a way that makes your solution irresistible and incomparable, and you're guiding them through these micro decisions. You create an environment where they're compelled to say yes. It feels natural, effortless, and exciting. The system moves them seamlessly forward, reducing any hesitation, making that buying process enjoyable. And the best part? This system works for all types of high intent buyers. It doesn't matter if you're selling a group program, a high intent one-on-one consulting package, or an online course, because remember, the bingeable decision system focuses on selling your method, not your offer. Now, the bingeable decision system ensures that once you've built that momentum, the decision is already set up where it feels like it's made for them. They don't even have to think twice. So you can see why I call it the easy yes method, why my method is built to create a process that makes it the easiest yes possible. And it comes down to understanding the three core pillars. Number one is your innovative advantage, knowing how you can win the market by identifying the unsolvable problems currently that already exist in your market and you may already be solving, and knowing how to build your innovative method so it solves that unsolvable problem, so that people now come running to you knowing that you're the only solution to their problems. No more competing for attention, no more having to compete based on price. You have clients who will happily pay you 5 to 10 times more than they previously were because they know that you are the only and incomparable solution for them. And it's only then, once you have that innovation, that you can put that into a bingeable decision system where you communicate that value, where you amplify what your innovation is in a way that gets people to instantly understand. This is where we automate conversions, where we build a process that makes that ability to be able to say yes without any hesitation, without thinking twice, so freaking natural. And the third and final piece is you can't build a business simply based on great client acquisition, even though I know every guru out there wants you to believe that that is the case. The reality is you need to be able to deliver on the results you promise. That's why creating a delivery system that drives results, world-class results at scale for your clients without being directly dependent upon you for every step of the way, is the key to creating what we call a happy client machine, where your clients are raving about their results, sharing what you do with everyone else who will listen, and you're able to work with them long-term as a result, creating your most profitable business strategy ever. This is the power behind the ECS method. It's why I'm so passionate and why we've helped over 452 experts and businesses and CEOs create a system that gets their leads to sell themselves, because we understand those three core factors. So as always, I want to invite you to the next step with me. If you've enjoyed what you've heard here today and you want to learn how we can apply the ECS method within your business and whether or not this is the right fit for you, I want to invite you to book what we call a growth optimization call with me. This call happens where we will literally look at what your current process looks like, where the opportunity points are, how the ECS method could be installed to actually accelerate the rate of how you get high intent leads to be able to sell themselves. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like. And you'll walk away with the clarity of knowing exactly what needs to change in your business and how we can support you in achieving that. So if you're ready to do that, head on over to easyesleads.com/call to book your call right now. But if you're here and you're new, or you just want to learn a little bit more about how the ECS method works, I want to invite you to check out our free bingeable mini series on the Netflix effect. Inside of this, I break down those three core pieces that I shared with you here today in complete detail, showing you how this applies, how my clients have achieved this, and even the results that come from this, so you can walk away with a tangible idea of what the ECS method is, how we leverage the Netflix effect, and how you can get your leads to sell themselves. So if you're ready to check that out, head on over to easyesleads.com to binge the mini series right now. As always, I love and appreciate if you could just take one quick moment out of your already busy day and rate, subscribe, or share this with a friend so that we can create a movement where experts are getting their leads to sell themselves. But until next time, here's to keeping it real.